Okay, so one of the things that we've been very keen to try and do with Future Focus Finance is to stress that this isn't something that's going to come along and take over from things that are already in place. My background is in FSD in the Northwest, as I said earlier. We're very keen to work with colleagues in the patches to build on FSD and HFMA to really make FFF come to life. So in each of the regions, we tried to talk to a local person about how they see that working. I'm delighted that Karen Berry's joined us today. She's going to introduce herself in a minute. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to make things work in East Midlands. So Karen, do you just want to say why we're talking to you today, and then we'll come to the questions after that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm Director of Finance at Lincolnshire Partnership Foundation Trust. Sorry.
Thank you.
And I've been a career-long advocate of finance staff development through whichever route it may be, and have supported it at the Strategic Health Authority level as a member of the main Finance Staff Development Board there. More recently, I've been asked to sort of help support the HFMA and the Finance Staff Development by doing things such as this. So I'm here on their behalf today.
That's great, thank you very much.
Okay.
So first of all, one of our colleagues in the room earlier asked something about why is this different to things we've had in the past. We had a framework for the future and building a framework for the future. So what from your point of view, what do you think makes this different to those initiatives?
I think because this one is working much more in collaboration with the other organisations. Certainly before they felt quite fragmented from my perspective. I think this time there's very clear willingness for FSD, HFMA, FFF to work together to complement each other. And this is the first time I felt a sort of a national drive to make sure that we share across boundaries, and that's not just locally, geographically and across services, but nationally. I think it's a great opportunity to do that.
Okay, great, thank you. So what do you think will be happening in these Midlands? What do you have planned to help complement Future Focus Finance in this part of the world?
The FSD, first of all, have been very active in doing gap analysis, asking people what they want. So we've done the traditional route there. They have been very active in providing many events. There's at least a dozen I know that are running over the next 6 to 9 months. So there's lots of activity there for those that want it. HFMA are really focused on personal development as well as the usual technical side of that. And they've got an event going on next month that's really starting to link with external organisations such as local authority and to bring in different perspectives so that we can learn from each other, because we're all in a similar position. So it's how can we do this collaboration, not even necessarily on an NHS-wide basis, but even wider than that. I think that's quite exciting. I suppose actually in some ways it's kind of innovative, because very often we've been quiet, looking just NHS, and I think it's the first opportunity in these Midlands to start branching out.
And what about through your local networks and the FSD leads in the organisations? How will you see them working with Future Focus Finance and helping to spread the message across the 15,000 staff we've heard about in this part of the world?
Yeah, I think there's already a good network from that perspective. I think the FSD leads, I recognise 1 or 2 in the room here today, so I know that we've already got some active support, and I think that's a great opportunity. They're here to hear the message direct, can cascade that back down, not only to their organisation but across. I know personally I'll be talking to my commissioning colleagues who aren't here today to say, this is a great initiative, you need to engage. If you can't do it direct, I'm more than happy to support you in whatever way I can to make sure that we can work across organisations.
That's great. And then finally, the HFMA, how do you see linking in with HFMA on the local patch?
The HFMA are very keen on linking in with this, and I think they've been a great advocate of supporting this to make sure it enhances. We want to look at how we can work closely with the clinicians and with other organisations. It doesn't just have to be about our own sort of traditional way of doing it, and I think that the HFMA recognise that at the branch level they can only deliver so much of it, and they have a good network obviously across the country, but it's about how now they've got that impetus, we've got that additional funding. I think is just going to work wonders for the rest of the finance fraternity that we work with.
That's great.
Great.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for coming today.